Hello, hello, what do you know? It is Rabbit of ScrubLeet Academy, and today we're back in Baldur's Gate 3, the phenomenal D&D 5e game by Larian Studios. Today, I want to show you how to get the most out of the prologue, which is the intro section to BG3 aboard the space tentacle monster ship, the Nautiloid. First thing we want to do is choose our class, race, and everything else to set ourselves up for the final boss fight and everything to come after. Now, if you're not aware, every decision you make on this screen, minus a few, can be reconfigured in-game, even in honor mode. So if you're concerned we chose the wrong class, don't worry, it's all easily modified as you go through your adventure. The only things we cannot change are our choice of race, subrace, sex, background, or any appearance defaults of an origin character. Those are the characters that exist in every playthrough, like Will, Gale, Lae'zel, or the best companion of all, Shadowheart. Remember that as we go through this, because we're deciding the best of these for our purposes here. Classes I'll go through in a bit, but you can change your name, class, subclass, skills, spells, cantrips, feats, ability scores, or custom character appearance all you want. Probably some other things too if I've forgotten. It's easier to just check off what you can't change than what you can. So as for subrace and race in general, one of the absolute best ones is Wood Elf, and we are going to choose that here. Not only do you get free proficiency in Longsword and Longbow, two of the consistently most highly rated weapons in the game, as well as Short Sword for finesse users and Short Bow for kicks, but Wood Elf is the only race-subrace combination that gets two different proficiencies in skills in BG3, and two of the best, I might add: Stealth from Wood Elf and Perception from Base Elf. On top of that, they have immunity to sleep, resistance to charms, and as a Wood Elf, an extra 1.5 meters of movement. That's like 1,000 feet for all my American viewers. It's a really solid option for most classes, especially if you're not sure exactly what you want to be at the beginning of the game. As for background, it's all subjective. The way you get inspiration in this game is directly tied to your background, so certain playstyles will lend themselves more favorably to certain backgrounds. That said, I love Guild Artisan. Persuasion has the added bonus of heavily affecting vendor prices, in addition to being one of the two most common speech options, the other being Intimidation, and Insight is fine too. As far as intelligence skills go, they're pretty much all nigh pointless, I find, but Insight is a speech tool more often than the others, so it's good for the face of your party, and it synergizes really well with Persuasion. Classes are a bit up in the air because we really don't have to worry about our choice for long. You can swap these as early as level 2 in almost every playthrough. Considering that we have a cleric already in Shadowheart, and we will absolutely want the god tier command spell later, the choice is yours. I personally would either choose another cleric to guarantee a weapon drop later, or a class that has access to the always fun Fairy Fire spell, which can give advantage against any target that fails its save. What's more, the Fairy Fire spell is AoE, so it can hit a wide number of clustered targets. Now you might think that sadly you can't have it both ways. You just can't have a Fairy Fire and a command user in the same character. Well, I am here to brighten your day, because Light Domain Cleric can do both. Our obvious choice for a class then becomes Light Domain Cleric right off the bat. And make sure to choose Saloon or Lulth for your goddess. The interactions with NPCs are really quite fun. Spells. We get Fairy Fire auto-prepped, so all we need are Command and a healing spell. Bless helps us hit a bit more, and we can use Sanctuary to prevent a wipe if we're lucky. I think those four are great for prep work, and we can change these spells anytime outside of combat. Cantrips, there are really only a couple that are actually good at this level. Blade Ward is what they call Chad mode, so we want that, and we absolutely want the best cantrip in the game, Guidance, a free 1d4 on any ability check. I also tend to take Thaumaturgy on non-Zariel Tiefling builds because advantage is just so good. Ability scores. Remember, we're level 1, so having 17 in an ability score is pretty pointless. Even numbers all around, so we get the most out of our character. The best distribution for a cleric face is 8, 16, 14, 8, 16, 12, because the best defense is a good offense, and 12 will be enough for most speech checks now that we have proficiency in Persuasion and advantage on Intimidation and Performance. Where it's a bit dicey, we'll use a bit of Inspiration. As for skills, this is where Cleric suffers. Grab Religion, and then it's your choice between the other two. They're both basically useless at this point in the game. Notice we get 4 proficiencies for free, so those are the good ones. We really don't need too many more. Finally, we are ready. Let's get to it. So not a lot to note at this first stage of the prologue. You can grab the chest up there if you want, but it's only ever got a piddly amount of gold in it. The other chest over here and the Illithid corpse have much more money in them, and it saves you those precious seconds, which will add up in this game. The more important thing is to get us, and not to mutilate it. I repeat, do not mutilate us. We wouldn't like that, or us wouldn't like that. Yeah, my way sounds better. No, the real reason we want to keep us, the creature, is because not only does it start with 6 more health than it would have had, making it kind of a second tank in case the Illithid in the boss fight goes down, not only does it prevent us, the player, that is me and you, from potentially turning it hostile, but then the Illithid will turn on us, again, me and you, after. Us, the creature, won't turn on us, the me and you, so us, the creature, will take our beating. Makes sense. And if you fail the base check, you just restart the game. It's really quick to get into, and us is crucial to us. I'm gonna let you figure that one out. Burning through the imp fight, we're left with grabbing a couple of crossbows. Take these and equip them on yourself and Shadowheart. Lae'zel really won't need one. Grab everything that isn't nailed down in both this and the next room and kill these dudes for free. 20 easy XP. Also, use the restoration pods if you need. They're freebies. Now it's time to free Shadowheart. Now Shadowheart's free. Equip her, and most importantly, set her spells up. She has relatively terrible spells selected right now, and we want to mimic our spell selection as much as possible. Chances are good it's to our benefit to send Shadowheart to activate the transponder because our cleric is just so much better than she is right now. In the boss room, keep in mind that there are a bunch of goo balls up here that we could technically shoot and the devil will set him on fire for himself, but that's actually not to our benefit in this strategy guide. It'll do too much chip damage to the Illithid and we need him alive for now. In honor mode, the devil usually bodies a party member with or without his sword. First things first, we have some lucky rolls we need to hit. If we win initiative, that is, if our Dex-empowered high initiative player character wins, throw an attack to get rid of an NPC so we can save those spell slots. They're worth more than Shadowhearts. Get us to smack something. We want to clean these 2 guys up and use us to remove the final one because by then, we'll be set up over here. In an ideal run like this one, the first command will steal his weapon and Lae'zel should start moving in, but not before trying to body one of these losers on her way. If she fails, or more likely if us isn't good enough to set things up properly, take the opportunity and move forward anyway. The sword is more valuable than anything else. Next turn, Lae'zel should be able to grab the weapon and equip it, even though it loses an attack. You'll see the damage made up quite a bit later. Get behind the commander if possible, avoiding opportunity attacks so the other Cambions focus the Illithid and us. Okay, I think I've punished you enough with that joke. By then, us should be done dealing with the imp, and you should set Shadowheart and the player character up on the stairs like this. Go for a fairy fire, and if the stars align again, you've got him fully set up for Lae'zel to dominate him. When the devils come in, that's when you'll want to be prepared to head to the transponder, but not just yet. Do as much damage as possible. Ideally, you want the Cambions to do their first round of attacks beforehand, so you get the best shot of wrecking the commander. Sadly, he got the flare in this run, but your flare will probably end up with a sliver of health if you use command a turn earlier than I did. They're worth 75 XP each, but I think this is a successful run downing just the commander. I'ma keep this file. When you're ready to end the level by hitting the transponder, your player character should still have the Sanctuary spell. You should still have 1 spell slot left. Use it on Shadowheart. It'll make everything target something else, and for the 3 mobs that spawn near the transponder, they have no AoE attacks and will ignore a Sanctuary target. That means an easy 2 turns to run there, and you can end the level with the sword in Lae'zel's inventory. If you need to, go ahead and use a jump here or there, because Shadowheart has a little more strength than we do, making her kind of a better runner. And that's how to do it. There are better outcomes, but hitting both the command and fairy fire on the first shot each was a massively powerful start. With more player characters, especially a team of 4, this is kind of a trivial setup, but if you're playing solo, you gotta fight those dice rolls a bit to get it to work. If you down the commander, you'll get the achievement, 75 XP and some bragging rights. I'd call that a win. The Illithid at that point is just icing. But that's all I've got for you today, folks. Tell me if you have a more reliable strategy or what you thought of this one. That being said, I'm gonna get up out of here. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day.